Tick, tock, tick, tock, tick. She laid in a bed of white, her body frail and fragile, too sick to survive. Her friends long gone, she had abided and abused. She prayed to Celestia, prayed to Luna, to the Cadence, and even to the Princess of Ponyville. She prayed that her little one would not suffer. Her foe, he was only 6 years old. She loved seeing him trot in with his teacher, Miss Cheerily. He would tell her all the stuff he learned. Little Lockhart, it would be hard for him, though. Without her, she thought, maybe he wouldn't need her like his father hadn't. She rested in a calm silence in a colorless room. Beep, beep, beep. She had gotten used to that old annoying beeping, but still she had nothing more but wanted it to stop. She tossed to her right in the cold lumpy bed. Her eyes were heavy, her heart was equally heavy. She didn't want it to go like this, not yet. She wanted so desperately to watch her foal grow up, to meet his mate and her grandfoals. She wanted to grow old and die with some pony. She sighed and tossed to the other side of the bed, staring at the monitor screen. Was she really going to die? She closed her eyes, hoping for some relief from her pain, but sadly found none. Hours passed, and she found herself staring at the plain white roof. She listened to the other ponies in the hospital. She heard the nurses and doctors talking, coughs and sneezes, wheezes and affrons, mumbles, and even the clipping of hooves on the cement floor. But the one noise she couldn't help but not notice was the eerie silence in some of the rooms. She heard one noise that scared her to no end, for she was afraid it was her own death call. Across the room from hers was a little fillies, maybe a little older than hers. The doctors rushed in, and nurses too. The same noise rang for what seemed like an eternity. Beep. Then silence followed. She could hear the doctor ask the one question she was afraid of. The time of death. She was too weak now to cry, to be angry or scared. Silent Harp had given in and was accepting her fate. Hours passed, and she only got worse. She waited for the doctor. When he came in, she sat up, crossed her four hooves, staring at the vacant bed blankly. Doctor, how many fillies need kidneys? Silent Heart asked without moving an inch. 2, was all he said. Doctor, how many hearts are needed by fillies? She asked another question. 1, he said, looking at her clipboard. And how many fillies need a liver? She was slightly smiling by this point. 1, he looked up at her, saddened by her questions, curious as to if insanity had crept on her finally. How many fillies need something a dying mare has? She looked him straight in the mane. He sighed. 4, Miss Harp. He set the clipboard down. Cut the cord of my life. Please. My simple life isn't as important as 4 fillies are. 4 fillies that have a whole life ahead of them. I've already given the world my part, my share. Give them what they need, Doctor. She smiled, tears falling. Are you sure, Miss Harp? He looked concerned. Yes, I've thought about it. A lot. She smiled sadly, looking out the window from his impenetrating gaze. He complied and removed the IVs from her, all except for her heart IV. She was free from all the pesky cords and disciplines. An hour passed, and she was sitting up in her bed looking out the window. She heard a knock, and she turned and seeing her filly. Mama, guess what I learned today? He crawled in next to her. You learned about colors, little one. She smiled weakly at him. No, Mama. I learned about ponies' bodies and the organs. One day, Mama, I want to be a doctor. She leaned back and hugged him. She loved him so much, she didn't want to tell him the truth. Come on, little Lockhart. It's time to go. Miss Shirley called from outside the door. He hugged his mom and told her he loved her, and then left. She laid back feeling tired and slowly closed her eyes. She could hear its beeping and it was time to let go. Beep, 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 followed by the eerie silence as Silent Harp's body went limp. She was soon filled with happiness and warmth, unlike the cold darkness she had imagined she would feel. Mama, I got my cutie! Mama? Hartlock had come back to show his mother he got his cutie mark, but it had been far too late. He understood, though. He understood what was happening, and accepted it. He knew she was sick, and he knew there wasn't a chance. He climbed in the bed next to her, and hugged her tightly to his chest. Rest well, Mama, he whispered. He started crying as he slipped from the room. He stalked past Miss Shirley, and down the long, solitary white dull hall, far from the room as he entered the light from outside. He turned back once on the other side, staring at the hospital doors, knowing he lost his savior. I will say that this was one of the first readings that I've ever done, and it's also one of the first fanfictions that I've ever written. And I do apologize if this is low quality, but I am trying my hardest. I do hope that everyone likes and finds this entertaining, but also emotionally entertaining. I do apologize if this does occur to be too emotional and becomes a trigger for many people. I do hope that this channel becomes one of your favorites. Anyway, this is Various Rainbow, signing out for the first time. Sleep well, every ponies.